welcome to a new episode of the Bubbles and Berries podcast. It has truly been forever since I last recorded. If you're new here, or if you don't remember who I am, my name is Ode and I am coming to you from Edinburgh in Scotland. And at last I am able to record again. I think it's been like 3 months or more than 3 months since I've been able to record a podcast. Work has been incredibly busy. Life has been very busy as well. I've been quite tired and I just haven't been able to film, but I have been able to knit and I have quite a few things to show you. I also have a bit of sewing to show you. So yeah, I'm really excited. I have some acquisitions as well that I would like to show you. I have some shop news that I will share with you a bit later on, but let's just get started because there's a lot to show, and yeah, let's just not waste any time. I'm just gonna start with what I'm wearing now. This is not a new finished object. This is something that I finished, I want to say maybe September last year or August last year, and this is my April cardigan by Petite Knit. I'm just gonna stand up quickly, but it's all on my Ravelry page anyway. I don't know, I can't see myself, so I don't know what you see, but yeah, it's just the April cardigan by Petite Knit. I'll put a picture as always on the side, and I made mine out of WoolyKnit, what is it called? 100% British wool in the shade cinnamon brown, I think it's called, or just cinnamon, I don't remember. And yeah, I've been reaching for it quite a bit lately actually. I didn't wear it that much last autumn. I think I just didn't really know how to wear it, but I've reached for it, I want to say this spring, but the weather in Scotland has been absolutely horrendous and it still feels like winter or autumn most days. But yeah, just with like a white t-shirt, that's usually how I wear it, and it's actually quite nice because it's the weather is bad, but it's not that cold, so it's too warm for like big chunky sweaters. So cardigans are actually quite nice right now. But yeah, the buttons that I used, I don't know if I can show you up close, they're made of cork. And yeah, it's great. Just wear it all the time. Anyway, let's move on like straight into finished objects. I have 2 garments, a hat, and then 2 bags / clutches, although I only have one with me because the other one was a gift, but I will talk about it briefly and I'll show a picture of it. But let's start with the garments. And the first one was a whip in my previous episode of a long time ago, and has been obviously finished for quite a while. I just haven't worn it yet because just when I finished it started getting too warm, so I'm looking forward to wearing it in the autumn when it gets cooler. And it's my Levi pullover by Sarah Nortland. So this is what it looks like. There's a bit of color work on the sleeves, there's color work at the bottom. And yeah, I like it a lot. I'm not going to put it on, but I'm going to put pictures of me wearing it so you can see what it looks like. Let me grab my notes just so I can share all the details with you. So like I said, it's the Levi pullover by Sarah Nortland. I made size 3, which is usually the size that fit me in Sarah Nortland's pattern. And for the yarn, I used, I don't remember what she recommends, I think. She recommends like a Lopi maybe? Something like that. But I ended up using a mix of pure Gynt by Sandnes yarn and then Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool. So the brown and the cream is Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool in the shades Marzipan, Melange, and Cinnamon. And then the green is pure Gynt in the shade, I think olive. It's the shade 9572. It has different names in different places. And yes, it worked great. It's really lovely yarn. I do love pure Gynt. It's definitely one of my favorite yarns. It was my first time using Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool. It was really nice to knit with. It grew quite a bit when I blocked it, and a lot of people have said that it pills. Obviously I haven't worn it much yet, so I can't tell, but I'm kind of expecting it to. But yeah, otherwise, like, really great experience. I really enjoyed it. Let me see the notes that what I wrote. So yeah, I wrote, and I think I mentioned in my previous episode, I was a bit unsure about my color choices at first, especially when I started doing the yoke, because you do. It's been so long now, I can't remember. I think you do the neck, like the collar, and then you do the yoke, and then you keep going down. And so for me, the yoke was a lot of brown and green, and I thought maybe the contrast wasn't high enough, or it was just a bit too brown. But then now that it's finished with the body and everything, I'm really, really happy actually. I think the beige really balances everything out, and it has a nice like foresty look, which I'm really pleased with. I went down a needle size for the collar. I think it called for 3.5, like the ribbing on like the cuffs and everything, but I went down to 3 because I didn't want it to. I wanted to be like a. I wanted it to be like a turtleneck and not like open up too much, if you know what I mean. And so I went down a needle size for that, and it's fine. Like, it works great. When I was knitting it before I blocked it, it was a bit tight, and I was a bit concerned that I would feel a bit choked, you know. But after blocking, because it grew a bit, it's actually perfect. And did I sew? Yeah, I sewed it down. Like, you knit a big chunk and then you sew it, like you fold it and sew it down. And I think I sewed it like fairly tightly, like not too tight that I can't get my head through, but tight enough that it holds here and it doesn't like come down to like halfway down my chest, if you know what I mean. So I'm very pleased with that. I used a combination of stranded colorwork, so the normal, I guess not the normal one, but the most common one, and a little bit of ladder bag jacquard for like, I don't know how I can shape. Maybe if I show you at the bottom, it's easier. Oop. Oh, there's a cat whisker. Like here you can see like there's a lot of stitches, and you would have to catch your floats on a few rounds, and I was concerned that the green yarn would show too much through the beige if I did like a normal, like the way you catch your floats when you do stranded color work. And so I decided to do ladder bag jacquard, and it worked great. It was my first time doing it. It's very easy. It's not complicated at all. It makes a lot of sense once you understand how it works. And yeah, I thought that like where you set it up at the first, I don't know if I can show you without hitting the mic. Like you can see there's a little bit of texture here, which is where you first set it up. And I don't really know how to deal with that, to be honest. Before blocking, it was like I could see the green peek through a little bit, just on that stitch, not on the subsequent ones. And I was a bit bothered by it. And then when I blocked it, I used pins to sort of like close that beige stitch a bit more and hide the green behind, and it worked, but there's still a bit of texture. So I don't know if you know how to manage that. Please let me know in the comments. Right now I'm really not bothered by this, especially like this sweater. My gauge was a bit off. It's grown a bit with blocking, so it's quite oversized and cozy and comfy, and it's probably something that I'm going to wear at home mostly. Also because it's a bit like bulky, right? It's like DK Aran weight, the yarn, and then you have the double thickness because of the color work, so it's a bit chunky and not the most comfortable to wear under a coat, I would say. So it's definitely something I'm going to wear more at home, and I don't care if it's not perfect. I know a lot of people say, oh, like my knitwear is like, it looks so nice, it looks almost like store-bought, but I don't know, like I I guess I have a bit of a different opinion on that. I think handmade items actually look nicer than store-bought because I dropped it. Because, like, if you look closely, like, store-bought stuff has a lot of, not mistakes, but, like, unless you get, like, really high-end stuff, it's not necessarily, like, the best, like, as well made as maybe, like, something that you would knit or sew for yourself. So, anyway, that was a bit of a tangent, but, yeah, I'm very happy with it. I like it a lot. There's short rows on that. I'm just thinking about it now. There's short rows, but they happen after the collar work, and I think after you divide for the sleeves. And it works great, rather than like happening at the back of the neck. And yeah, it works great. So happy with that. And yeah, overall, like happy with the sweater. Is there anything I wanted to say? No, it was good. It was a great pattern. It was really fun to knit. It's really easy to knit. It's a good pattern if you want to try out ladderback jacquard, because you have some sections where you can try it out, but then the rest is mostly like regular stranded color work. So you're not committing to a full project in ladderback if you just want to try it a bit. And yeah, and I think I liked it because also it's because my gauge was off. I like when that happens. I like those patterns that say, like, instead of knitting so many rows, knit so many, like a length, like so many centimeters or inches. And I think that's a great way to adjust for your gauge being a bit off, because I think on the original pattern there's a lot more main color before you divide for the sleeves. And obviously because my gauge was off, my yoke is a bit deeper, like the color work part is a bit deeper, and so I just didn't do as much body before dividing, and that worked great for me. So yeah, very pleased with it. Let's move on to the next one. I'm just using Ravelry to have my notes. I think I wrote better notes this time. All right, the next one is also a garment, and it is a cardigan or a jacket. And I'm just going to give you a bit of context on that. So I actually just got back a few days ago from a trip to France to visit my family and to attend my sister's wedding. And it was wonderful. It was so good. The weather was so nice. It wasn't crazy hot, but it was just good, like nice and sunny, and you could wear summer dresses and not have to wear a jumper in, June. And yeah, like it was really wonderful. But for the wedding, I had decided to make myself some things. So there was two main events. One was the civil ceremony at the city hall, which was on a Thursday, and then the big, like, the main ceremony / party / everything, which was on the Monday. And so I sewed myself 2 outfits for that, which I'm going to show you just after. And I had also decided to knit myself a cardigan / jacket that would go with both, because it was warm, but it could still get a bit cool in the evening. Spoiler alert, I didn't wear it at all at the wedding because it was warm enough, but I don't mind. And I also decided to knit myself a bag, and I also knit a bag for my mom. So a lot of things to show you, but I'm going to start with the jacket. And the pattern that I chose is the Fennel jacket by Florence, of Handmade by Florence. And this is what it looks like. I'll put a picture here of the pattern photo, and I'll come a bit closer and show you the texture. It's broken rib. It's lovely. Let me see. Let me just put it on. And yeah, it fits perfectly. I'm so happy with it. Maybe not with the white t-shirt, but yeah, it fits so nicely. Ooh, I'm hitting the mic. I'm just gonna stand up quickly. Yeah, it fits so well. So let me tell you about this. So I made the size C, which is the 3rd size. And I knit it pretty much to pattern. I cropped it a bit because my I intend to wear it with dresses or jumpsuits, so something that would like mark my waist, and so I didn't want it to be too long, so it is just below the waist. The pattern was super clear as my first time knitting a pattern by Florence, and yeah, super clear, really nice to knit. Like there's never really any point where I had any doubts as to what I was supposed to do next. It has a double knitted button band and collar, and I'd never done any of that. And there was a video tutorial. Oh, I have fluff in my nose, obviously. A video tutorial, and it was great. Like it was easy to understand, it was easy to follow. It was, yeah, like no issues, just the easiest way to learn something new, to be honest. Let me see. What else? Oh yeah, so I had some concern because it is broken rib. The stitch is broken rib. Oh, I'll talk about the yarn too. But because the stitch is broken rib, I had some concerns that it would grow with blocking, and I really wanted it to be a specific length. And so I put a note on Instagram asking people sort of what they thought, if they'd had any experience with like a broken rib garment and things like that. I have knit like a vest in broken rib before, but it was a long time ago and I don't remember how it behaved with blocking, and it was a different kind of yarn, and I didn't write any notes about what happened, so I don't remember. But anyway, everyone was like, most people were telling me that broken rib is more likely to stretch widthwise rather than lengthwise, and if it stretched widthwise, that was not really a problem for me. And also there was the idea that like because the double knit button band is quite sturdy, that it would prevent it from stretching too much lengthwise. So I gave it like a steam block before doing the button band just to be sure, and then decided to just go for it, and then it worked out really great. It didn't grow lengthwise, it grew a little bit widthwise, which was great. I think part of the reason for that as well is my yarn choice. I think my yarn choice helped it not growing. For this I used pure Gynt in the shade Almond, and then the Sandnes yarn Tynn Silk Mohair also in the shade Almond. And like pure Gynt is like rustic Norwegian wool. It's not the kind of wool, it's not like a merino, it's not the kind of wool that's going to grow. And obviously mohair, because the silk core is quite stiff, or like silk doesn't really stretch so much, it gives it structure as well. So I think my choice of yarn made it so that it didn't grow as much as it could have maybe in another yarn. And yeah, speaking of mohair, if you've been here a while, you know that for the longest time I haven't been using mohair because I used to find it incredibly itchy, and I'm not sensitive to wool. Like I can wear pretty rustic stuff, but mohair was just so itchy. And I think I'm cured because I don't think like this is not itchy at all. I have it on my bare arms. I wore it a little bit with like sleeveless stuff, and it was fine. So maybe this mohair is particularly soft. I think the Tynn Silk Mohair is only 57% mohair, 28% silk, and 15% wool. So maybe that's why. Although I've also used recently easier mohair, and I'm not, like, it's not itching in any way. So yeah, maybe I'm good to use mohair now. I don't know. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about this. The buttons that I found, let me see if I can get closer without knocking everything. It's like nice wooden buttons that I bought at Ginger Twist, which is my local yarn shop. And I think they're a little bit too big for the buttonholes, if I'm honest, but I don't mind because I don't think it's something that I would ever wear close. So yeah, I don't really care. I think they're really nice. And yeah, I love it. Like I said, I didn't get to wear it really at the wedding because it was warm enough, but I was really, really glad to have it just in case, and now I'm just glad to have it in my wardrobe. I think it's a really nice jacket to wear over like maybe fancier outfits or over dresses, and because it's this nice almondy beige, it will go with pretty much everything. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with it. I really like it a lot. It's so comfortable. It's so, I don't know, I love it. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite things that I've ever made, to be honest. And yeah, and I'm gonna, because we're talking like wedding stuff, I'm gonna move on right away into another thing that I knit for the wedding, which is the bag, because it matches this. And so let me pull up my project page. Sorry, it's got a chain to it, so it's gonna make a bit of noise, but yeah, so this is, I made the winter clutch by Petite Knit. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm really out of practice, which I actually am, so I'm sorry if it's a bit all over the place, but to go with my outfits, I made the winter clutch by Petite Knit. I wanted it to match my jacket, so I used not exactly the same yarn. I used the Mohair. The Mohair is the same. It's the Tynn silk Mohair in the shade Almond. I'm sorry if you can hear the bin guys collecting the bins right now, but I'm gonna keep going. And then obviously it's not the same gauge. Like this is like a DK Aran and a silk Mohair, and this was a fingering. So I used Sunday. Yeah, just Sunday. I think that's what it's called, right? Like it's Sandnes Sunday in the shade Almond as well. However, because it's a Merino base and this is a Norwegian wool base, it's I think I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I think the bag is slightly warmer than the jumper. It's not exactly the same color, which to be honest, I don't mind at all. Like I really don't care. They're close enough, and I really like, I don't know, I like having this set. It's a bit like nice and fancy. And yeah, the bag I used a ton. Like I used it pretty much every day that I was there or that I was at the wedding. And yeah, let me see, what else do I have to say about that? There's only one size, obviously, so yeah, like it's not like I chose a size. I hope the chain noise doesn't come across too much, because I guess that could be annoying. I bought the frame here and the chain in Oslo last year. I think at Garntopia, I think that's where I bought it. But I know it's like the Petite Knit one, but I know of at least one shop in the UK who sells it. I'm sure shops like in other countries also sell it. And then I know Venetia of the Woolly Worker made one. I actually have it here because I offered to sew the lining in for her. And she bought the frame on Etsy. So there are other places, it's probably quite standard sizes anyway. So yeah. And I'd also bought the lining from Petite Knit when I was in Oslo, but then I ended up not using it because what I did is, okay, so for the lining, the pattern provides instructions on how to make it yourself. So you just basically buy a piece of fabric, and then it has all the instructions of like cut that much fabric and then sew it here, sew it there, and then insert it into the bag. So you don't need to buy it from Petite Knit, or you don't need to buy it at all. You can just buy fabric and make it. And what I wanted to do was to add a bit of padding to the lining and to the bag in general, in the hope that it would give it a bit more structure, which it did. But then in order to do that, I decided to do my own lining. So you can see it here. I just used some cotton. Obviously you can't feel through the camera the padding, but it is padded. It's quite nice. And what I did is that I used two pieces of fabric, and in between I sandwiched a bit of wadding, the kind of like foamy bit that you would use for like quilting and things like that, like not super thick, but you know, a little bit. And I just got all those 3 layers, and then I just sewed them as one, so I didn't bother, like I just pretended it was just the 1 layer, and it worked really, really great. Like it gives a nice, I don't know how I can show you the structure, but yeah, like if I'm holding it like this, it has nothing in it right now, but like it holds the bottom well. Do I have something on hand that's a bit heavy that I could put in to show you how it holds when there's a bit of weight inside? Let's do this. It's a bit ridiculous, but this is my tiny iron that I use for sewing. And then if I put it in the bag, it's like fairly heavy. And then if I put it in the bag and hold it up, like it's not pulling down too much. It's not like losing its shape. And I think that's in part because of the padding that I did to the lining, but also because the lining is cotton fabric, which is not stretchy, as opposed to knitted fabric, which is stretchy. But yeah, and it worked really great. I loved it. I honestly loved it. Got a lot of compliments on it as well, which is always nice. It was really, really fun to knit, really easy, really quick. And the lining is not difficult to make or to sew in. I guess it would be a bit of a pain if you didn't have a sewing machine, but it's also not a 5 million seam, so you could also do it by hand. And and I would recommend padding it. I think it doesn't take any space in it, but it does give it a bit of structure, and yeah, I like it a lot. I love it. I kind of want to make one in like a darker color maybe, and yeah, I'm just going to close it, and then you've got the chain, and yeah, it actually smells really nice because near my dad's there's like a small village where they make a lot of soap, and we always go there and get like soaps because they're really nice and they smell really good. And for the return journey, I stuffed all the soap in the bag to put in my suitcase so the bag wouldn't get smushed, and so it smells really strongly of soap, which is really nice. But yeah, definitely recommend this pattern. It was really, really good. And I used 1 ball of the silk mohair and 1 ball of the Sunday, so like 50 grams of the Sunday and 25 grams of the silk mohair. So it's a really economical project as well, or if you want to use a bit like fancier yarn, you don't need much at all, so that's really good. And I'm gonna move on to the next project, which is also a bag, but I don't have it with me, so I'm gonna put a picture here, and it is the Mirri clutch that I made for my mom, also in a beige color because that's the color that she chose to go with, I don't know, I think to go with her shoes probably. And yeah, so it's also a petite knit pattern. I think I made the small size. It also comes with the large size. And follow to pattern. The yarn that I used, even though it looked very similar to my cardigan or to my own bag, for this I used Knitting for Olive, so same thing, 1 ball of the Merino, 1 ball of the silk mohair in the colorway wheat. That my mom chose that. And yeah, I did everything to pattern. I did the lining the same way as I did for mine, with a bit of padding, which was really good. Gave it nice structure, and I guess maybe it also a bit protects what you have in it, I don't know, if you drop it or something, I don't know. But it worked really great. The zipper, I didn't use a petite knit zipper because first of all, I don't know that she has it in the same beige that I was using, and like I'm not gonna order from Denmark just a zipper. And also, I don't think any of the stockists in the UK had it. I just bought a zipper from my local fabric store. That was the right size, and it worked great. It worked just fine. What else? Oh yeah, one thing that I meant to say is because the clutch has like this sort of like square shape. It doesn't have the rounded shape of my winter clutch, but the Mirri clutch has this square shaped, but you still knit it in the round, so your edges on the side, like the corners, are not well defined really, because you knit it in the round. And so what I did is, before sewing the lining in, I didn't want to block it, like wet block it, because the base yarn is Merino, knitting for Olive Merino. I didn't want it to grow because it would mess up, like it wouldn't fit the lining properly or whatever. So what I did is that I found a book that I had at home that was exactly the size of the clutch. And so I slid the clutch onto the book and then steamed it, like steam blocked it. I wrapped the book in like plastic, obviously, to not damage it from the steam. But then, yeah, I slid the clutch on it and then used the steamer to just like, yeah, to just give it a bit of a block without stretching it out, but also like give it like really nice edges, make the base like really sit neatly. And yeah, that helped a lot. So just a tip, if you're doing that as well, find something that would fit inside your clutch at the exact right size and steam block it. And yeah, that worked really well to have like really nice, neatly defined edges. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna move on. I think I really feel all over the place. I hope it's okay. I'm sorry if it's not. I'm really out of practice. I'm gonna move on to my last knitted whip, and then I have 2 sewn whip. But the last knitted whip is a hat that I made for Kyle for his birthday. Kyle's my husband, if you're new here. And yeah, which was last week. I actually cast this on like just the day before we left for France, like just to have something on the needle when I got to the airport, just a couple of rounds. And then I finished it on the plane on the way back. So it was really nice to have this sort of holiday project. It's the only knitting that I brought with me because my bags were already very full, and then I knew that I wasn't gonna have like a ton of knitting time anyway, because I was gonna be spending time with my family and all that. So just the hat was actually perfect. And this is what it looks like. The pattern is the Slouchy Beanie by Inga of Knitting Traditions. I've probably made like 2 or 3 already of that. It's really nice. Kyle has another one already, which she likes a lot. And so I just thought I would use the same pattern. And the yarn that I used is Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in the shade Brown Bear, which is a really lovely shade of brown. And yeah, it was really nice to knit. It was really fun. It is way too big. I made the size adult large, which is what I made before, but I don't know, it just came out too big. So I don't know if, I guess the yarn was maybe a bit thicker than the one that I used before, or I don't know, I was a bit more relaxed when I knit it, so my gauge is a bit looser, but I don't know. He likes it a lot and he won't let me. I said I was going to redo it. I could redo it on like different needle size or do a size smaller, but he won't let me. So he says he wants to keep it the way it is. So, you know, that's what it is. But yeah, there's not much more to say about it. It's a really nice pattern. It's a really easy pattern and it doesn't use up a ton of yarn, and yeah, it's fun. I think the only thing that I did is that the pattern calls for twisted rib for the brim, and I couldn't be bothered. So I did just regular rib and it works just fine. That's what I did the last one as well. And yeah, it's a really nice, quick, mindless project. Just knit in the round, and yeah, that's all there is to say. So I'm just going to show you the yarn again. It's really nice, like dark brown. And yeah, the thing is I don't know if I don't think it grew with washing, so I think I just knit it too big, but again, he won't let me redo it, so that's what it is. All right, before moving on to my sewn finished object, I'm just going to have a sip of water. Because I am very thirsty, and also I'm quite hot in my cardigan, but I can't be bothered putting the other one back on. All right, so going back to the wedding celebrations in France, like I said before, I sewed two outfits. So for the civil ceremony at the city hall, I decided to make myself a jumpsuit, and I chose the pattern called the Mirri jumpsuit by Papercut Patterns. I sewed it in a size 4 at the bust and 5 for the waist and hips. So I slightly graded the pattern because I have like my top is different. It's like one size down from my like hips and bottom. So it's like a modification that I do a lot. I'm kind of used to it, and I'm gonna show you, like I will show you a picture of the pattern, like the pattern photo, so you can see what it looks like, especially because it's like a plain linen that they use, so you can really see the shape of the jumpsuit. And then I'm gonna show you the fabric that I used, and it looks like this. I don't know if you can see well. And then, so I used, this is a polyester crepe, I think, from Lady McElroy fabrics, which is really good quality fabrics. I don't usually use synthetic fabrics like polyesters. I try to stay away from those because I don't find them as comfortable, I don't find them as breathable. But in this case, because it was a jumpsuit that I knew that I was gonna put on like at my dad's, like getting ready at my dad's, and then having to like drive all the way down to the city hall, like if I'd used a natural fabric, there would have been a lot of creasing like around the hips, you know, which just for sitting in the car. And I didn't really want that, so I used a polyester for that, and it was actually quite nice. It was really nice to sew as well. Like it marked the like the folds and the press, like it pressed quite well. I don't know if you can see or whatever or not, because polyester doesn't always press neatly. Like it's just the nature of the fabric. But yeah, and I'm gonna put a photo. I didn't take like a really nice photo of me wearing it to showcase the jumpsuit, just because, you know, I was just enjoying the day with my family and all that. But I will put a photo of me wearing it. This is a photo of me with my sister and my brother, and yeah, so you can get a sense of what it looks like on me. But yeah, that I'm really pleased with this one. It's like, it's nice, it's a bit like dressed up, but not too much, and it's definitely something that I could see myself wearing again on like a, I don't know, like a fancier event, or even at like another wedding. Like my cousin is getting married next year, my brother is getting married the year after, so I'll probably wear this again. It's like nice and classy, but it's also comfortable, and being a jumpsuit is like makes it even more comfortable, you know. So yeah, I think that's it. I don't really know what to say about sewn items as opposed to like knitted items, but yeah, very pleased with that. And now that I've shown it to you, I can put it in the wash. And then the second sewn item that I made was my dress for the big wedding ceremony, the big wedding celebration, and I was the witness slash bridesmaid, so I had to abide by the color scheme that my sister had decided on for the wedding, which was a lot of like pinks and peach and a bit of green. And so the fabric that I chose is this, approved by my sister. Oh, I have fluff in my nose. Which is also a Lady McElroy fabric, but this one is a viscose. It's actually a very, very nice viscose. It doesn't crease too much, which is like quite something, because viscose like really, really creases usually. And then it also feels like silk, like it really feels like silk. And in that I made the Grace, is it called? The Grace dress by Sew It Yourself, in the size medium. I'll show you a picture of the pattern, and then I will show you a picture of me wearing it. On this picture, I'm with Kyle, my husband, and yeah, it was because same thing, I didn't take like a really nice pictures just to showcase the dress. I was just busy with other things and enjoying my time. So yeah, the pattern, like, it's so nice, it's so silky. The pattern is originally made for jersey fabric, so for its stretchy fabrics, but it's basically, I don't know if I can show you too well. It's basically from the underarm, like you can see it's quite wide. It's basically a rectangle from the underarm with like a bit of shaping, like here, like to go to the neck. And so, and it's quite big and quite flowy because then you just wear a belt to like bring it in. So I figured that it should work just fine with non-stretchy fabric, and it did. It really did. If you ever want to do it and you're a bit concerned that it might not fit, then simply go a size up, I would say, because you're going to gather everything anyway, so it's just going to make it a bit more flowy if you have more fabric, which is always quite nice. And yeah, I decided to line mine, so I have like a white viscose in it, just because the floral viscose is very nice, but also like a bit thin and slightly sheer, like very slightly sheer. And I don't think it would have been a problem because of the amount of fabric that there is and the fact that it's gathered at the bust and at the waist. And if you, like, if I'd worn like skin colored underwear underneath, I think it would have been completely fine. But I felt more comfortable lining it, and also because it has 2 layers now, it has a bit more weight, so it has a bit more, like a nicer drape, I think. So I decided to do that. I simply cut the pattern in the main fabric, in the lining, and like sewed everything else as one. And I don't know, it was super easy. It's a very easy pattern, very beginner friendly, and yeah, very pleased with it. I absolutely love this fabric. And yeah, it fit perfectly in the theme, and it was really lovely because, so those were the colors that my sister had chosen, but then it wasn't, you know, some weddings, you have like a set color and then all the bridesmaids are wearing the exact same colors, but the dresses have different shapes. That's not what my sister wanted. She wanted her bridesmaids to stick to this color scheme, but then choose whatever dress they wanted, and she wanted floral. So she didn't want anyone to wear like a solid color. She wanted everybody to wear like a floral dress in those kinds of shades. And so we all did, and it looked amazing. And it looked really well with it went really well with the flowers that she picked and everything. And yeah, it was amazing. We haven't gotten the like official photos back just yet, but I can't wait because I think they're going to be absolutely beautiful. So yeah, it was a wonderful wedding. It was the most wonderful wedding. We had a really good time, and I'm very happy for my sister that it all went to plan and that it was exactly how she wanted it to be. So yeah, very happy about that. But yeah, so that's the dress, the Grace dress. Would definitely recommend if you want to make it, especially like if you, like, I could wear that again as a summer dress, obviously not in Scotland because Scotland doesn't know what summer is apparently this year. But you could also make it in like a million different kinds of fabric, and it would just be like the perfect summer dress. So yeah, love it. All right, let's move on now to whips. I only have one whip, and that is on purpose because I really want to like work on it as much as I can and get it finished. I have it in my big project bag. It's a garment, and I'm gonna try and show it to you. So my whip is the Bookclub cardigan by Sarah Nordland, and this is what it looks like. It's all bunched up because my cable is a bit short, but that makes it easier for me to knit. I'm part ways down the body. I don't know, maybe a third. I don't really know. I would need to try it on to see how much longer I want to make it, but I want to make it a bit oversized, so I think quite a bit longer. Let me see how I can show it to you. Yeah, I think that's good. And yeah, so the Bookclub cardigan is a beautiful cardigan by Sarah Nordland. It's an all over cable. It has pockets, although I'm not gonna make the pockets. I think it's like it's optional. So I don't think I'm gonna make the pockets because I'm worried it would be a bit too bulky. And it has a double knit button band, which I'm looking forward to. I actually quite like it. Like I said, I did my first with this cardigan, and I know a lot of people say like, oh, it takes forever, blah blah. And it kind of, I mean, it does, like it really takes forever, but I really enjoy it. Like I find it very meditative, and like the final result is so good. Like it's just so neat and sturdy, and I love it. So I mean, there's going to be a lot of button bend to do because you go all the way around, but it's fine. We'll take our time and we'll enjoy it. So what happened with this is I actually was part of the tester of the test knits for this cardigan, and clearly I did not finish it. The pattern has since been released, and what happened is just that I don't know, like life happened, things got super busy, and then I had this grand idea of making a million things for my sister's wedding, and yeah, I just wasn't able to finish it. Although to be honest as well, the test knit period was like 6 or 8 weeks, I think. It was quite short for basically a full cardigan because we needed to do the body and one sleeve. So it's not like a yoke and a sleeve, it's like the full body and one sleeve and the button band, but yeah, I wasn't able to finish it, which is all right. It's just, it's just how it is sometimes. And yeah, like Sari was really nice about it, so yeah, but I'm really looking forward to finishing this. Obviously I didn't take that to France because it's quite a lot of yarn and also a lot of brain power, which like that's just not what I wanted to do when I was on holiday. But now that is my main focus. I might cast on something a bit mindless for times when, like, for example, if I edit that podcast, this podcast I'm recording right now, like just have something mindless to knit on. But this is really my main focus because I really want to get it done. And yeah, I love it. It's so nice. Would definitely recommend the pattern. Oh, hold on. Lily, my cat wants to get out. All right, you probably saw her, she was on the bed the whole time, but now it's time for probably a little snack or something, so yeah. Yeah, what else did I want to say about that? So the size I'm making, I believe, is again size 3. It's the same size as I did my Levi pullover, so it seems to be my size in Sarah Norton's pattern. It's a bit, I think it's supposed to have about 20 centimeters of positive ease, which is quite nice, a bit of a nice oversized cardigan. It's not difficult. I will talk about the yarn obviously, but it is not difficult. I know a lot of people see like all those cables and just like get nervous about how hard it is and are they gonna be able to make it and all of that. Like, it is really not difficult. It is time consuming and it is engaging mentally. You have to keep looking at your chart, or I do anyway. Like there's too much going on that I can memorize it, but yeah, it is not difficult. It is just cables really, and it's so effective, it's so powerful, like it looks so good, but anybody can do it. I promise you, anybody can do it. So yeah, I know there's a knit along happening right now. I don't know who is organizing it, but I know a few people are participating in it to make it. So, if you want to join that, or maybe you're already doing that, yeah, that's happening. But yeah, it's a really fun knit. It's really engaging knit, but it's also a really fun knit and like a bit of a longer term project, but like the reward is there, like it's really there. Anyway, for the yarn, I am using Jamieson and Smith. What is it called? Shetland Heritage in the shade Fawn that I'm holding double. And so basically what I did is I bought 2 cones. And so I'm holding like a strand from each cone. And this is what it looks like. And yeah, I love it. I really, really love it. I would not have had enough yarn with 1 cone because obviously cables eat up quite a bit of yarn. but with 2 cones it's fine, and that just allows me to have like 1 strand from each cone, and it makes it easy to knit. But yeah, it's also the kind of yarn that blooms a lot with knitting, so with blocking, sorry. So like right now it looks a bit gapey, I would say. It looks a bit like not the best, but it blooms really well. It's a bit on the thinner end of the yarns that were recommended. I know some people have made it with like a DK and a Mohair, so it's like nice and like thick and squishy. I don't think mine is going to be like that, but I am on gauge and it's just going to be a bit more flowy, and I'm very happy with it, and I absolutely love this color. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now, as exclusively as possible. And yeah, hopefully I can finish it fairly soon. I think I need to make at least as much of the body as I have made right now, and then maybe a bit more. I'll have to see, because you have those diamonds, and I think like I would like to end on like at the tip of a diamond before doing the ribbing. Like I don't really want to cut in the middle of a diamond, so I'll have to see sort of like where it takes me in terms of length. But like I said, I'm seeing this more as like a bit of a cozy, oversized cardigan / jacket, so it's fine with me if it's on the longer side. So yeah, that's my whip, and that is most of what I wanted to share today. More water. I have like, it's raining buckets outside, but I feel so dry inside. Like inside my body, not inside my house, which is very weird. But anyway, I also find that I'm having a bit of a struggle. Like, I'm struggling a bit adjusting to being back to Scotland after being away. I don't know why, it's never happened before, but we got back about 5 days ago, and I'm still adjusting. So yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter, not that you don't care about that. Yeah, so I have some acquisitions that I would like to show you. I have been to 3 yarn festivals since the last time I podcasted, and I've bought a few things, and I will show you in a second. But before that, I would like to share some I'm sorry, I feel like I'm touching my hair because I have fluff everywhere. A few things that I would like to tell you about my shop. So I have a new stitch marker set coming out, first of all, which is really fun. My goal this year has been to release a new stitch marker set once a month, and I have stuck to that, and I'm really happy about that. So fluff, sorry. I'm really happy about that, and so yeah, so I have one new stitch marker set coming out either like on the day or just before you're watching this. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to release it, but there's going to be plenty of stocks. It's called Peeps and Clucks, and it has chickens and eggs, and it's really cute, so I'll put a picture here. And then the other news, I'm a bit nervous to share it, but it's important, and it is that I am going to stop making bags. Now, I understand that many of you will be disappointed by that. I know many of you are waiting patiently for me to restock bags on my website, and it's just not happening. I think in 2024 I've done like maybe 2 rounds of bags. Like maybe I did like 6 or 7 in January or February, and maybe a bit more in March. I can't really remember, but basically what's happening is that the stitch marker side of my business has grown a lot, like a lot over the past several months. A lot more individual orders from you guys, so thank you so much for that. And also more stockists, more shops that are now stocking my stitch markers, and yes, that's been happening, and it's been wonderful. I absolutely love making my stitch markers. I love making them for orders. I love designing them. I love creating new ones. I really love it. I love stitching them. Like, it's a very enjoyable process for me. I'm always quite happy, and like I'm very happy actually in the mornings when I get to like sit down and get my threads out and my felt out and like look through the orders I have to make that day and just like stitch them. Like, that makes me really happy. And also from a business perspective and from like a financial perspective, I guess, stitch markers are good. Like, they're fair. Like, I make a fair amount of money for the work that it is and the time that I spend on it. Bags are definitely not the case. Bags are just the amount of work that they require compared to the price that I'm comfortable selling them at. It's just not right. Considering the amount of time that I spend making them, like, if I wanted it to be fair, I would have to sell them for at least like 3 times what I'm selling them right now. And this is definitely not something that I want to do. Like, I'm not going to sell a bag for £300. It's just insane, it seems to me. And also, I really don't enjoy making them that much anymore. It's always a bit of a, like, I'm not excited to make them. I'm not. Yeah, which is why also, like, as you can tell, like, I haven't stocked bags in months now, because I haven't had the time. I've chosen to prioritize stitch markers because I enjoy them more, and also because, you know, like, it's a business. It's my, like, I do this full time and I need to make enough money to pay my bills, to be honest. So I have to prioritize what does that for me and also what I enjoy the most, because this is literally what I do all day. So yeah, it was a very difficult decision to make. I'm not gonna lie about that. It was also like quite sad and a bit bittersweet, because that's how I started. I started my business making bags, and stitch markers only came later. And yeah, I have like an emotional attachment to them, but they're just not viable anymore. It's just not sustainable anymore. And that's not to say that I will never, ever make bags ever again. But yeah, I'm just like, I'm removing bags from my website, and I don't see myself making bags again anytime soon. Obviously, if that changes, you'll be the first to know. But yes, so I'm sorry for causing disappointment for some of you. I truly am sorry about that. I know many of you like the bags. I know many of you are waiting for the bags, and I really appreciate your enthusiasm and all of this, but it's just not working anymore for me. And you know, it's my life, it's my job, it's my business, and I have to prioritize what works best for me. So yes, thank you for your understanding. I know you'll understand, even if you're a bit disappointing. I know you understand, and I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, so yeah, that's what's happening with the shop right now. And yeah, let's just move on to fun things. Let's just move on to acquisitions, just to finish this podcast. I feel like I've been talking for forever, about an hour. So let's just finish off with some acquisitions and then call it a day. All right, so like I said, I've been to a few yarn festivals since the last time I recorded. I first went to the Scottish Wool Producer Showcase in Perth. I remember that I'd said that I was going to vlog that, and then I didn't, because what happened is that the day before the festival, we lost one of our cats. He was really old and really sick. He had cancer, and we had to sort of let him go a bit sooner than we thought we would have, and it was just really hard. And I was grateful that the festival was happening the next day. I still went because I was very grateful for the distraction, to be honest, but I had no energy to vlog or to film anything, as I'm sure you'll understand. So yeah, so that happened. And then at the end of April in April was the Woolly Good Gathering Festival in Edinburgh, which was absolutely brilliant. I had the best time. I met so many friends, I met some of you, and yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. And then in early June was Tangled Galashiels, which was also a lovely festival down in the borders, in the Scottish borders. A lovely day, like just a good day with friends, and yeah, and then I have some purchases from all of that. So this is what I have. Dropping yarn, and it's all very gray and very neutral, and I feel like this episode that I showed today is also that, like very beige and brown and neutral. I guess I'm in a neutral phase right now, which I'm not mad about, because the neutrals go with everything. So yeah, so I'm just gonna grab them as they come. So the first acquisition, including the one that just dropped on the floor, is 4 balls of this yarn called Burnfoot Wool, which is Scottish yarn. Which I hope you can see. It is a nice grey yarn. I bought this in Galashiels, and it is a blend of Romney and Cheviot lambs. 100% British wool, 4-ply, 50 grams, and it's lovely. It's really soft to me, although I could see it being a bit too rustic for people who are more sensitive. It is a lovely, perfect, like light grey. And yeah, I got 200 grams of that with the intention of making a shawl, probably. I don't know which one, but that's my idea. Then I got, let's see, at the Wool Producer Showcase, I got some of this, which is a new to me brand, which I think they're also quite new, and it's called Merino. It's also a Scottish wool, a Scottish merino, located not too far from me, and I got it in the color Cup Nuts, and they had also all sorts of colors, but I got kind of like a neutral brown, and I got the DK 172 meters per 50 grams. I think that's all they had. I'm not sure they had fingering weight, but yeah, it's beautiful. So I have 100 grams, and I think my idea is to make either a hat or like a small scarf, like a Sophie scarf kind of things. But I mean, probably not a Sophie scarf, but there's a lot of designers coming out with like small scarves these days, and so make one of these. And then from the Wool Producer Showcase, I also got this yarn from Gardswell Farm. It is 50% Scottish Mohair, 50% Hebridean, and it is this beautiful dark grey. I love the label as well, like it's just embossed. I think it's so pretty. And I got 150 grams of that. Also probably to make some sort of shawl scarf, although this specific mohair is a bit prickly to me, so I have to have a think about it. Or maybe I could put it in like a jumper and like either like a color block or color work, or I don't know. We'll make those decisions some other time. Moving on to the WoolyKnit gathering, what I got is Uist Wool was there. I absolutely love Uist Wool. They have such beautiful yarn, and last year I saw them, I want to say it was last September at the Scottish Yarn Festival, and I bought some unspun from them, some grey unspun, and I absolutely loved working with it. And so when I went, I had no intention of buying anything, as you do, and then you buy something, as you do. And so I went, and they had this beautiful sort of grey beige colorway. I hope it comes across well on camera. And so I bought 2 plates of this to make something. I don't know what, but I will make something with it, especially like unspun goes a very, very long way. So I could probably make a set of like a cowl and a hat, or a cowl and a headband or something. So that's that. If you have pattern ideas, please share them below. And then at WoolyKnit Gathering again, I met with my lovely friend Eula of Wool & Twine. We had been chatting on Instagram for a little while, and then she decided to come to Edinburgh for the festival and also as like a vacation with her partner, and we got to meet, and that was wonderful. Absolutely love her. It was so great to meet in person. And before she came, I asked if I could order some of her sock yarn, and if she could bring it rather than ship it from Germany, which she did. So I got 2 beautiful skein of her Ovis sock yarn, which is 50% Cheviot, 50% Jacobs, which is not a base that I have in my like natural sock collection yet. So very pleased to have that and to give it a try. And I got these 2 colors. The more brown one is called Oat Milk, and the grayish white one is called Bone. And it's really lovely, high twist. And yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna make with it just yet, but I mean socks obviously. Probably something with like a nice texture I think would look very nice. I don't think I would do color work because I don't think the contrast is high enough probably, but I don't know. Maybe I will, who knows. So I'm gonna add this to my basket of natural sock yarn. And then last but not least, I bought this last bit of yarn like at Ginger Twist Studio. Like they had a bit of an after party after the Woolly Good Gathering festival, and so I decided to buy this yarn then, but it didn't really have anything to do with the festival. It's just a few weeks before I'd helped some friends with stuff, and as a thank you they gave me a gift card to Ginger Twist Studio, and I ended up buying 6 skeins of the West Yorkshire Spinners fleece 100% Jacob Aran. I think they have it in DK as well, in this really nice light grey. So I have, yeah, it's called light grey 005. So I have 6 skeins of that, and I bought this in order to make the Beatrix cardigan by Gregoria Fibers, which I'll put a picture on. It's a pattern that was released like not too long ago, like maybe a month, not even, and it's so beautiful. It's like a cabled cardigan jacket. It's just like, it's stunning, and I think I have plenty of yarn. Like 600 grams should be more than enough for my size, and yeah, I'm so excited about it. It's so beautiful, and it's probably going to be my next cast on once I'm done with the Bookclub cardigan. I'm definitely on a cable cardigan kick right now, so I'm just going to embrace it and you know, just knit whatever you feel like knitting. So, and this is what I feel like knitting right now. I feel like knitting cardigans, I feel like knitting cables, and I feel like knitting neutrals. So this is what I'm doing right now, and then when that changes, then I'll just knit whatever I want to knit later. So yeah, I think this is all I have to share with you today. Yeah, thank you so very much for watching this podcast. Again, I'm sorry it took so long for me to record again. It's been so good, but so busy. And I was so glad that I had this trip to France planned, because I know it was going to be like, it wasn't going to be the quietest trip, because obviously like it was a wedding and there was family coming from everywhere and like a lot of socializing, but it was so nice, and so it was the best way for me to like completely disconnect from my life here and my work, and it was very, very much needed. Like I wasn't burning out, but I was tired. I was definitely tired. So yeah, and now I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to like get back to work and continue. Like next week I'm gonna design new stitch markers for the rest of the year, and I'm gonna start designing like Christmas stuff. And I know it's really far away, but it makes me very excited. It also makes me feel kind of in control that I have things planned like quite a few months ahead. So, and yeah, I'll just you know, like sit at my desk and stitch all those stitch markers, and it's gonna be great. I'm really excited, and yeah, it's been a very busy year so far for the shop, but it's been very, very good, and I'm very grateful to you, because obviously that is thanks to you. Like if you guys weren't buying my stitch markers, I wouldn't have a job. So yeah, I'm incredibly grateful for you and for your orders, and obviously for, more importantly, even for your kind words and your lovely comments and your support in all the way that you are supporting me. And yeah, I don't take that for granted. So Once again, thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one, which hopefully won't be in another 3 months, but much sooner. Okay, let's do that much sooner. All right, have a really good rest of your day, and take care of yourselves, and happy knitting. Bye.